Rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Oh, you brothers, you're on your own. Roll call, please.
Mayor Orr.
Here.
Councilman Baker.
Here.
Councilman Martinez.
Here.
Councilwoman Pildingsrud.
Here.
Councilman Edwards.
Here.
Councilwoman Henninger. Here. And Councilman Villagrana.
Present. Okay, we need approval of minutes of the regular meeting September 15, 2014, and the special meeting September 23rd, 2014.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes for regular meeting September 15th, 2014, as well as special meeting September 23rd, 2014, as presented.
Second. We have a first and second. Roll call.
Baker.
Aye.
Edwards.
Aye.
Villagrana.
Aye.
Henninger. Aye. Pildingsrud.
Aye.
Martinez.
Aye.
Mayor Orr.
I wasn't here.
I wasn't here for one meeting, but,
Uh-oh.
oh, okay, then
Oh.
abstain too, yeah. For the same one.
Okay. Visitors. We got Alan with no hat on.
Oh, cover that hat. Put that hat back on.
Laughing at that last time. There was a little
Shine up there. I'm not laughing at it.
I know, you're the only one that has a straight face.
Alan Mosley, 220 South Robinson, here on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce. We are here to request a street closure between Second Church and Petroleum. Before I say more about that, I tried to do some research the last couple of years. I've been able to come up with anything for the last 2 years. I understand Dory said we did exclusively do the event last year. 2 years prior to that, I've seen the merchants took it 1 year and the merchants and the chamber split it another year. And I was hoping that the city would maybe partner up with us, with the chamber on this, so we weren't bearing everything, or as far as the insurance costs.
Mike?
One of the things that we discussed as a staff earlier today and in previous occasions is on a lot of these events, we're going out and we're events that the city is essentially putting on. I mean, we're partnering with other entities, but it's our staff that blocks the road, it's our police officers who man those barricades, it's our staff who sets everything up, does all these different things. My recommendation is, why create this artificial distinction? If we are a partner in the event, then yes, we still have to get a separate insurance issued, but we don't have to pay anything extra. It's covered by our policy and what we're already doing. I think to me this one, and frankly, Pioneer Days, if they want to have us as a partner, it would make sense for both of those events to have the city as a partner and save that extra fee. I just don't understand why we're spending money on something that is functionally a city event.
I agree. I agree.
All the little spooks agree with you too.
So this would be considered a city event, right?
Well, it's a partnership with the
Yeah,
chamber. I mean,
okay,
we're
so,
already
yeah.
doing it. We've been partnering with the chamber on this event for a lot longer than I've been here.
I think what you need to do is explain to him that if the city does it, we don't have to take out that if it's part city, then we don't have to take out that insurance.
Well, we still take
It's
it out, but
covered.
we don't have to pay extra.
Yeah,
It don't have to come out of our coffers.
yeah. So do you
Time, we are looking from 4:30 to 7 o'clock on October 31st.
We still need council to authorize the closure of the road, and then we apply to the state and get that done. So we still need council to take a motion on that.
To 7.
But do you understand what he's saying about the insurance and that?
I think I do,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, we could make a motion and put, providing that we take care of the insurance and so forth, can't we? I mean, for the date.
It's automatic.
Well, all he has to do is just say that it's their chamber, they're partnering up with the city for this event, and then it takes care of it.
No extra cost. We still have to then apply to, we still take 2 steps. We still apply to SRSA and get the extra insurance rider for that event because we're closing a state highway. And then we go to the State Patrol and get their permission to close it, and then we close the event, and because we're partners, there's not the extra insurance that there would be under the other scenario. And we've been putting people through all this stuff that isn't really necessary.
Okay.
Kelly, which streets again you want?
There would be Church and Second,
Okay.
right there by Shamrock Station, I believe. Right there by Shamrock Station,
Okay.
I believe. Clear to Petroleum and Main Street.
Petroleum and,
Means
Main. You know what Petroleum's at, don't you? I'm phoning you.
Any questions?
Yes.
Larry?
I'm confused. We had the one at the far end, east, but how'd Second get involved here?
Well, it wraps around, it's really Main and Second.
Church.
that's
Church.
the library, yeah.
Yeah, basically the
Second Street at
library.
the library.
Willie's in.
I think that's the easiest intersection to close off and still be safe.
Tried, but we all know.
Yeah.
All right.
If you care, I'd make a motion, if
Okay.
you're ready for it.
I'm ready when you're ready.
I'm ready, sir.
Okay.
I would move that the city of Florence partners with the Chamber of Commerce for a Halloween street closure from Second and Main to Main and Petroleum from 4:30 to 7 o'clock on October 31st.
second.
We have a first and second. Any further discussion on this? Okay, roll call, please.
Villagrana.
Aye.
Pilkington.
Aye.
Martinez.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Edwards.
Aye.
Henninger. Aye. Mayor Orr.
Aye.
7 ayes.
Okay, thank you, Alan.
Yay, okay, Ben, thank you too.
Yeah, we can handle it.
Thank you all.
That's it. Thanks.
Okay, next on the visitors, we have Tim.
Tim Jordan, 844 Sumo Avenue. I'm here about railroads again. I know right now, I talked with Mike today, there seems to be a little bit of progress in what's going to happen over on West Main Street. But I think you guys are going to be in for a little bit of a sticker shock when it comes up to fix that crossing. And I think maybe it might encourage you ladies and gentlemen up here to have a kind of a plan B on what you're going to do if you can't come up with that money right now. The other thing is with the crossing on 67, I know it's a state road, but it's in the city limits. I think the last travel analysis was done, there was about 4,000 vehicles that go over that a day. So if they have to close that road, I think you guys might want to partner with CDOT and figure out where you're going to put that amount of vehicles through Florence. So it might come to a point where you guys and gals have to have a workshop at some point with the PUC and CDOT and the railroad to figure out what you all are responsible for and how to get the ball rolling. And if there's an issue, how does it get resolved?
Paul?
Tim, visiting with the fire chief of McKinnon. According to the code book, the city is not allowed to close any street. However, in very serious discussions with the city manager and other council members, we could make a distinction of maybe if the shock that we can't afford to fix them is so great that maybe we would have to just make it a manner that it would just be a way for the fire trucks to get through, but close to everybody else. So, in respect, Tim, we took your warning and other people's warnings, and we're trying to do the best we can. We're talking about all kinds of possibilities. Another possibilities we talked about was maybe getting the city community organizations to help us in terms of maybe fundraisers, etc., helping us out to see, provided that the city cannot handle all the cost of the fixing of the railroads. So it has been talked to.
I'm sure it has been, Paul. I think you guys have probably been blindsided with a little bit of this. I think maybe some things in the past, that's why I'm encouraging the city to perhaps have a workshop with the PUC. They seem to hold all the cards to figure out what exactly you guys and gals are responsible for. I don't know what CDOT's going to do with 67, but if they have to close that down for a particular period of time to all traffic, there's going to be 4,000 or 5,000 vehicles somewhere that's got to go somewhere to get to some place, and they're going to have to go through Florence. So it might be something there that CDOT should include you guys in this decision on what they're going to do out there. So, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. Is there any other visitors?
Yeah, me.
Okay, me.
Me. Me.
Oh.
Bob Pepso at 628 East 2nd Street. I just wanted to compliment our city crew because I was one of the fortunate recipients that got a sidewalk replaced on 2nd Street. And the fine job they did, and also the other intersections that they've done this summer. Some of them across the street from some work that was done a couple of years ago by some other company, and there's no comparison with the work that our city guys are doing in comparison to what others have done in the future. And I just want to say thank you. And Sam and his crew are just a fabulous bunch of guys. And I spoke with one of the workers who was an inmate, and he told me that Mike told him we weren't able to feed him. Now, that's free labor. We're getting 8 hours work out of these guys, and we can't give them lunch. Shame on Florence. But anyway, that's all I got to say. You guys do whatever you figure's right. Thank you.
Any comments on that?
Didn't we talk about buying lunch for them? Or?
Well, we've had some discussions about paying for buying some of the lunches. They do have lunches provided by the prison. Some of them don't like the quality of the meals, that kind of stuff. We do work on getting them as many meals as we possibly can, but it is stuff that is not necessarily budgeted. So we're trying. We've had some discussion about getting them a certain number of meals a week and that kind of thing. But we don't have the funds to buy them lunch every single day without moving outside of our budget.
Paul?
You know, I would like to thank Mr. Baker because when he had certain individuals working at the bell tower, I know personally that he paid for their meals. So, you know, many thanks to Mr. Baker for sponsoring and chaperoning and buying some meals for those gentlemen. And they were two good workers. They really weren't.
Anyone else?
Well, I'll speak to it. Originally, when we actually decided to do this program, Merle and I said that we would participate and we would provide lunches on Fridays, but and we have continued to do that for the most part. And sometimes we prepare the meal, we'll go to the park and we'll have lunch together and so forth. And then some occasions we actually will go to Two Sisters or one of the other restaurants, patronize them. Now we have 4 inmates. I think we still have 4. It becomes more expensive. And what?
Maybe you have 2 more, he said.
Oh, so, well, I would have to agree with the gentleman that spoke. As much as Mike thinks that we can't budget this, and he and I've we've had some exchange of these ideas, and as I said, and much as you have said, we do have free labor. And now if we have 6 people, I mean, what would, if we had to pay 6 additional employees at the rate of, let's just say, $10 an hour, or whatever it might be, the city comes out a whole lot less expensive by providing a meal. Now, Mike and I, we've discussed this, and perhaps maybe we could make an arrangement with one or two or maybe even three of our local restaurants to where perhaps we could arrange for a little more affordable meal. And quite frankly, I have seen some of the lunches that the inmates bring. And I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't feed it to a dog. I don't have a dog, but if I had a dog, I wouldn't feed it to him. I'm serious when I say that. And I think that we're shortchanging our philosophy here. I mean, it's just, why can't we take care of it? And because we've had so many good employees from the prison. So I think somehow we can find some money in our budget to accommodate this. I think it only makes good sense. So thank you, Mike.
Mr.
Please
Edwards.
reply.
I just, I don't know, I guess I don't see things the same. I don't see them as employees. I don't really even see them as volunteers. It is, I guess, in some part, but let's not forget that these gentlemen owe a debt to society. And I know firsthand the federal prison has guidelines on meals, and I don't know of anybody that's ever starved coming out of there. I mean, the next thing I would hate to hear is we're going to pay them next. But like I said, they've done wrong, which everybody has, but my heart doesn't bleed that much.
Well, I believe they are getting essentially good time for what they're doing as well. They're getting some time off of their sentence for what they're doing for us. I mean, bottom line is, even if we could work a deal where we got meals for $6 per person, if we took 6 times 6, even if we fed them 3 times a week, that's $108 a week. $108 a week turns out to be, $5,300, $5,400 a year. I don't want to be that cheap, but our budget is that tight. I mean, we are going through the budget right now in preparing next year, trying to get everything done. I mean, my thought is we designate a certain amount of money, and what Mr. Baker and I had talked about was somewhere more in the neighborhood of like 500, 600, 800, something like that to the end of the year, and then and something like that, so that we've got some meals for these folks to the end of the year, and then in next year's budget put a little bit of money in there. But I can't come up with $6,000, $5,000 in next year's budget without making some cuts. I mean, we're trying to do all the goals that we've set forward, and I'm not saying these people don't deserve it, and I don't want to treat them well, so I don't want that to be the message that I'm sending, but the bottom line is they do come with meals. The prison supplies them with meals. We've made sure to add coolers and those kind of things so we can take care of the meals so that they don't go bad during the day, those kinds of things. I don't disagree with Mr. Baker, and I would love to do that. I just don't think I can come up with $5,300 in the budget. I think if we can set something where we do some stuff. We're still waiting to hear from Pueblo Community College about the thing in the basement. If we get that, then we have a much less expensive solution to our problem, and we can feed them really well off of the food that's made by the students down there. We can work a deal like that. But until then, I think we just have to set some parameters and try to live within the budget, because I don't have $5,000 in the budget right now to make that work for next year. And again, I'm not saying that they deserve something less. I'm just saying, we don't have it. Now, maybe we can work on something with the senior center and have, get meals from the senior center, because I think the costs there are a lot less expensive for meals. So maybe we could work a deal with the senior center and get some meals there.
I think we'd have to talk to COG. COG's the one that provides the meals.
Excuse me?
COG, Council of City of Governments, provides the meals for the senior center, right?
Right. Yes.
Yes, you can come up. Love that.
I believe that the seniors themselves, we've got some pretty good cooks. And perhaps we could work up a nutrition guideline that would satisfy the prison to where the seniors might be able to provide some lunches.
I mean, that would help too. I mean, the thought is, right now they go to a church one day, And then, so we're trying to fill in on the other 4 days, and we really haven't had a lot of success doing that. Mr. Baker has been our one, and Burl, I don't know if Burl did that one. I think she actually did the cooking most of the time.
Yes, I would confess to that.
Okay. That might work out real good.
Yeah, that would help, because any amount of days that we can get from somewhere else somewhat solves the problem, helps anyways.
What you can look at, Mike, is they're saving us at least $80 a day, besides expediting everything that needs to be done here in Flores. I mean, time is money too.
Bob, I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I'm just saying reality of budget is, I mean, we don't have the money to go hire more people. That's why we
I was embarrassed and
don't.
ashamed when the man told me that. But that's me.
All right. Any other visitors? None? Okay, we'll move on to old business. There's no old business. New business. Need the pay request for number 6 mulch construction for the east and west tank projects.
I'll make a motion that we pay mulch construction for the Regional West Booster Pump Station and the West Tank improvements, and the payment application number 6 for West Tank Pump Station for the East Tank also, for a total amount of $248,104.77.
Second.
I have a first and second. Is there any further discussion before we go on any further?
So is everything completed or?
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
checking.
okay.
The project's not complete, there's
No,
just a
no,
pay
no.
request,
It's just,
work in progress.
Okay, we have first, second, roll call, please.
Baker,
Aye.
Villagrana,
Aye.
Henninger. Aye. Edwards.
Aye.
Trude.
Aye.
Martinez.
Aye.
Mayor Orr.
Aye. Okay, we have next, moving on, we have a request for special meeting.
Basically, we're asking you to formally set a special meeting for next Monday night, the 13th. At that meeting, there would be 3 topics. The topics would be budget presentation, which is now finally balanced. A presentation from Richard Saxton of Farnsworth Engineering regarding the east-west tank construction projects and what exactly is going on with those. And then to accept the COPS Fast grant that we were notified we received.
And did you mention the time that this meeting was
Six
going to be?
o'clock.
What time?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, we would hope that we would do the presentation for Farnsworth on the East Tank project, and then 6:30, the special meeting, because we have to advertise a specific time, and then go right into the special meeting at 6:30.
Just to let everybody know, I'll be out of state next Monday, but it doesn't sound like it's something that I absolutely have to be here for. So I won't be here.
So 6 would be a work session, and then 6:30, the special meeting.
But we still would have the 4 o'clock with the county commissioners.
Wow. Okay, I need a motion for,
Well, we don't need a motion for
Yeah,
a
for a
workshop, is
special
that
meeting.
correct?
For a special meeting.
for special meeting.
For a special meeting.
And I make a motion that we hold a special meeting at 6 o'clock on October 13th for the purposes of discussing the grant for the police officer, presentation of the budget, and meeting with Richard Saxon for water concerns. Covered.
I think the meeting's actually going to start at 6:30.
That's right.
That's a 6 on.
6.
It's already on the,
6 is the work, is it, does it say special meeting at 6?
So special council meeting 6 p.m.
Let's start at
All right.
It's,
Excuse me, Mr. Councilman. 6 o'clock.
Make that.
Did we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have first, second, roll call, please.
I'm confused.
At 6 o'clock?
Filigrana,
Yes.
Baker,
Aye.
Martinez,
Aye.
Feltingsrud.
Aye.
Henninger. Aye. Edwards.
Abstain. I won't be able to attend.
Mirror.
Aye.
6 ayes.
Okay, mayor's report. I wasn't here, I haven't been here for very long, so there's no mayor's report. Committee reports, do we have any committee reports? Charlotte?
Well, I asked Mike if I can talk to you guys tonight about, BLM approached the city a couple weeks ago with money to improve the Lester Atterbury ditch diversion to turn it into a kayak feature for the use of the city.
Can you hear her back there? No, I think you're gonna have to either use the microphone or something, because no one can hear you. I didn't think they could.
Microphone down at the end.
BLM has offered up some seed money for the city to use for the reconstruction of the Lester Atterbury ditch diversion that they're going to have to reconstruct anyway. The purpose of them giving the money to the city is to put in a feature for tubing and kayaking. The Trails Committee met today, and they have said that they would be willing to help work on this project, as well as the community office. So, just wanted to... The grant writers, Susan and Gail.
Okay.
So we don't know what our share of rent would be.
The BLM is willing to give up $180,000 to put into account for matching funds for other grants. Depending on what kind of feature you go with, it could range anywhere from $250,000 to $500,000.
But the point is the match is put up by BLM, so we don't have to match. It would be BLM's money to match.
Right. It would just be staff time and volunteer time.
Whose money are they matching?
And does it look like we stand a chance at a very good chance?
Yeah, there's multiple GOCO grants that are available for this.
Okay.
CDOT may be interested because how the water leaves that feature right now, leaves the diversion, it's eroding away the bank that supports the bridge. So there are some matching entities. DOW Fishing is Fund would come in and help with some of the matching funds as well. So.
All right. Can do.
So we need a motion to accept.
No, I just would like staff to consider it, and since now that they have some volunteer hours that are donated or dedicated.
Okay, thank you for that. Any other committee reports?
I don't have a committee report, but I do have a report on something that Mr. Patterson and we attended a ceremony last week at the federal prison. And this was in regards to the change of guard out there, so to speak. Birkenbaugh, who was the top warden overseeing the entire complex, he was retiring. And then, of course, we had a new person coming on, John Oliver, and he's taking that spot now. And I will just say a couple things. Number one, he is a homegrown kid right here in Florence. He graduated from Florence High School and so forth. It was a very nice ceremony that they had, and I can say that we partaked in the luncheon that they had. That was very nice, and they had some very nice desserts.
I thought you said prison food wasn't very good.
That's true. Except this wasn't just the regular food. We had some very nice chicken, and we had some very nice roast beef, and some other things, and like I say, and some nice desserts. Yes, I even took one nice dessert home and shared it with my wife. So, anyways, we do have a new warden, and the fact that he is a local grown and so forth, perhaps maybe we'll see maybe a little closer relationship between the federal prison and the city. And I say that because if all goes well, and we have Washington, they have Washington approval on this and so forth, that now in November, that we will probably have the first inmate art show that we will be open to the public here in Florence at the Bell Tower. And it will be probably the first one that Washington has ever permitted to actually have. We cannot sell the art, but we are looking forward to this art show, and we're going to try to make it a very nice thing. So we're going to put this in the newspapers and so forth, because it would be the fact that if we were the very first, well, hey, I think that's just a star with our name. And I have had occasion, because I do volunteer at the federal prison, and I have seen some of the art that the inmates actually do. And I want to tell you, it's unreal with what they do with, I'll say, with a very few tools that they have available to them, and also, of course, the material to work with. So, anyways, I think all things are going well. Thank you.
I have a report.
Paul?
I'll let the young lady speak first.
Okay.
I don't know if it's been reported about aerospace presentation. Did you? No, you didn't do it? Okay, you didn't mention it, I'm not sure. So Aerospace had presentation in Fremont County. They had a tour of Fremont County looking for suppliers, like small businesses, machine shops, etc., because they want to give opportunities to small businesses to supply aerospace industry. So if anybody knows anybody with machine shop or what else? Mike, can you help me?
They said machine shops.
What else did they mention? Something that could be
potentially other high-tech type businesses, those types of things.
Yeah, computer businesses. So you can mention that Aerospace is looking for suppliers locally, because they want to give opportunity to small businesses to have business, to make business with them. Here we go.
Great. Paul?
Okay, I just like to latch on to what Larry was saying. Mr. Baker's quite extensive. He mistakenly we played phone tag and he clued me in. But the gentleman that's going to be the warden, I was fortunate enough to be his teacher. And that was Mr. Oliver. And he had two of the brothers that I taught. And they were all good kids. And evidently they turned out better since he's a warden and not inside, behind the bars. But anyhow, I happened to judge the art show at the prison about 4 years ago. And when Mr. Baker tells you that this is art that is unbelievable, trust me, it really is. I had one super hard time trying to decide who was 1, 2, or 3. Matter of fact, we went into session and they allowed me to give 3 first places. I just couldn't do it. I mean, the art is fantastic. And if it does come to a bell tower, you would be really remiss if you like art not to go and see the show. It is super. These guys are good. I mean, if you had 48 hours of your own time to paint, I guess you'd be good.
Okay, anyone else? Mr. Edwards?
Mr. Mayor, it's not really a committee report, but I'm not sure if we've done it lately, but I'd like to thank our grant writers for what they've done, not only in the past, what they're doing in the future. I mean, we've given up a little money for well over $1 million in this last year, and I'd just like to personally thank them, and just all keep up the good work.
Anyone else? Thank you, grant writers. The grant gals, we'll call you.
1.7 million.
1.7?
Yeah, actually 1,740,000.
Ooh, that's a lot.
That's good. Could you let me a grant to go to Vegas?
No, we want to make money as a pension.
Okay. Now,
Mr. Mayor, we moved on, and a thought come to, did we need to give a vote of confidence on this grant for this river project? For staff time or anything, is everybody good with that? Do we need something like that?
Well, we don't have anything formulated yet in terms of a specific project or what we would, but basically, I mean, we'll, you know, if council is interested in us doing that, I mean, I think all we need at this point is just kind of, which I think we got, which was, you know, go ahead.
Okay. Anyone else? Finance officer's report.
I do not have anything to report tonight.
Is that a good thing?
Yeah.
All right. City attorney?
Yeah, a couple things. The chief of police has approached me about issues in the community involving the use of marijuana and marijuana products and the growth of marijuana products that appear to him and appear to me to be beyond the constrictions of Amendment 64. You all, of course, voted to ban retail marijuana. There's still, under Amendment 64, the right to use marijuana under certain conditions and the right to grow marijuana under certain conditions. We don't have any ordinances in place that actually regulate that use and regulate that growth. So my question to you is, do you want me to work with the police department to get an ordinance before you that addresses some of the chief's concerns? Assuming that you probably do.
Isn't that the ordinance comes from state? No?
I'm sorry?
Doesn't ordinance come from the state?
No, it comes from you.
From us? On this?
Does the state have any rules that apply to communities?
Yes.
And
but it's difficult for the. I think what the chief would like to do, and perhaps he could speak to this if you want him to.
Yeah, I think so.
Is to be able to perhaps write some of these violations in the municipal court as opposed to county court.
County court. Okay.
Well, let's hear from him.
Let's hear from the guy.
We've been experiencing more and more complaints of the grow operations in backyards. People are not following the regulations set up by the state, and the enforcement on it is virtually nil. We'd like the opportunity to make it into an ordinance so we can enforce it, give the warning, instruct the people on the requirements of keeping their grow operations away from the public, away from children, not making it accessible to people walking through the alley. We've got some plants that are pretty big. They're bigger than me in size and height and weight, and that's pretty bad. As far as I'm concerned, we actually had some middle school kids bring over a pound of marijuana into the school 2 weeks ago to sell that they got off a tree. So, I mean, we'd like to regulate it, restrict it, make sure people are following the rules, and if they don't, then have the opportunity that we can cite them under a local ordinance and bring them in before the judge and make sure that they are ordered to follow the rules.
Sounds good. Anyone?
I'd just like as a councilman setting ordinance, I would like to be a part of, at least, I know we'll vote on it, but there may be something missed or something that we're crossing over, you know, so possibly, I don't know, I would just like to be a part of that, you know, not just something thrown in front of me.
That's fair enough.
Okay.
So perhaps a workshop.
Draft.
Yeah, draft and then have a workshop.
With public.
Okay. One? Then, go ahead.
Can we include, maybe talking about ordinances for, like, social clubs, for marijuana social clubs as well?
Well, I mentioned that to the chief. Apparently, there's not that issue yet, but that issue does exist in communities in Colorado.
Well, there's one opening in Canyon City very soon.
Oh, they're okay.
I think it's getting close, yeah.
Yeah, it's time to regulate it.
So
I just would say that if we do have a workshop, I'd kind of like to see some things down on paper written.
Okay.
So, you know, further clarify and understand what may come to a vote?
Sure.
We're not trying to restrict anybody from their legal right under Amendment 64, but we want them to follow the rules and regulations. We have a lot of people out there who aren't following the rules by growing more than they're really supposed to, by not securing it, letting kids be. I mean, we had a 3- and 4-year-old playing in a 28-plant marijuana grow last week, crawling around with toys, unsecured. So those are the things that need to be addressed for the welfare of everybody, not only the person growing it, but for the kids too. So that's my point in this, is to make sure that everybody follows the rules and regulations. And on that particular one, we spoke to the woman who moved from out of state here to grow, and told her the regulations, and she's going to comply with it. We're going to go back and check. We gave her a couple of weeks to secure everything and make sure it's right. And she's a little bit over on her plants, so to conform.
How many family members does she have?
She has three family members, so she's allowed 18. She's just 10 over, not a big deal. But so we're considerate.
Don't they have to be in phases too? You can only have so many in bloom and so many.
So many in bloom, right, and so many that have been already harvested and that. And yes,
blooming.
there's a lot of regulations. People understand. They just think people can come here and start growing. It's legal, and walking down the street, the kids, smoking marijuana, they can't possess it. So there's a lot of things I think in this ordinance we could make fit for us and be able to enforce some of this and stop some of what's going on, or at least control it.
Well, it sounds like, to me, the council's in agreement that we want the city attorney to further go research and come up with some ordinance, working with the police department, and then we'll go over from there. Is that pretty well in agreement?
Yes.
And Dave Elliott, who's detective in Canyon, who went up to the marijuana, he's with the marijuana enforcement group right now out of Springs. He's willing to come down and help us with the city attorney draft the state regulations, so they meet and fit our purposes and that we're not overstepping, with the city attorney, that what should be in there. He's willing to supply any information we need and also give a presentation.
And many of you will remember when we did our tours, as we drove around, it was pointed out to us by one of the council members that, hey, you go around the corner and there's this big, really big, beautiful plant there. And as we got closer, we were informed that was actually marijuana, and it was probably, I don't know, what do you think, 15 feet tall? Something like that?
Well, I don't think it was quite that tall, but 13 foot tall.
It was at least 12. I mean, it was a tall plant. It was twice the size of the 6-foot fence.
He got those from Jack and the Beanstalk and put the seeds in the ground and it grew a little bit.
That kind of brought it to our attention while we were doing it.
So big seeds.
That's what you're going to find at the top of that stalk. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. What I'll do then is go ahead and put something together, and then we can schedule a workshop and work through this collaboratively. Okay.
Sounds good. Anything else?
Yes, I would request an executive session after the regular session. Won't take very long, to discuss a matter of litigation. That's it, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. City manager's report.
Our PowerPoint's gonna have to wait till next time. Wade was, well, we'll just wait. We'll get you the PowerPoint next time. Real quickly, on reports, FEDC had a membership project, and they had a meeting last week for the new members, and a lot of Florence businesses became FEDC members, and Florence is very active in FEDC, and it was good to see that happen. They've been a great partner for us in some of our economic development projects. And then also, quick briefing on, there was a mayor's meeting last week, the small town mayors, and a lot of discussion about Coal Creek is kind of spearheading a grant process where they're working with the county road department and all the other entities, trying to get some grants to do some construction on fixing some of the roads that are impacted by the oil drilling. And they're going to, at some point, forward us a letter asking us essentially for more flagging during the project that's going to happen in Florence. They're going to ask Florence to supply little bit more of the flagging. We entered into an interlocal agreement with the county and the coal towns, basically saying we would all support each other in these projects, but non-binding, they can't make us send things out there. But for this one, they're going to ask for more flaggers, that type of thing. The mayor and I asked them to put it in writing, and as soon as we get it, we'll put it on an agenda for you to consider. And other than that, it was more social types of things, talking about the different events for the communities, how Pioneer Days went, the Apple Blossom Day that was coming up, the different things that Coal Creek and Williamsburg and Rockville have going on in the fall, those types of things. A little bit of discussion about football, Husky football. And that was pretty much it. And that's the only ones can't think of any other meetings to brief you on right now.
Regional water meeting?
Oh, yeah, regional water meeting last week. We discussed, I'll let Dory fill in the blanks if I miss any, but one of the items we did discuss, the warden who just retired from the federal prison is interested in perhaps having the federal prison take on a larger percentage, or a little bit more of the debt. That he kind of recognized that they are getting a pretty good deal and that they don't have to do their own water system like they do in many other of the larger federal complexes. So they might be willing to take on more of the debt. Non-binding, of course, at this point. And there's really, we would have no grounds to force them to do this. This is much more of a cooperative situation for them. That was one of the items that was discussed, but now we're going to go back to the new warden and see if he'll carry this for us like the old warden was willing to. Unfortunately, he retired too soon, so we can't get it done. And then anything else, Dory, you wanted to add, or Keith, or Larry?
No.
All right. Basically, the one thing is they postponed the December meeting because it was going to be December 29th or December 30th, and they moved it to January because they thought attendance was not going to be good for a December 29th or 30th regional water meeting. So in next year, there'll be a January, then a March, so we'll back up.
Okay. Same, bills.
I'll make a motion that we pay the bills.
Second.
First, second, roll call, please.
Baker?
Aye.
Pilkington?
Aye.
Martinez?
Aye.
Filigrana?
Aye.
Edwards?
Aye.
Henninger?
Aye.
Mayor Orr?
And now I need a motion to go. Right, into executive session.
I'd like to motion that after a 10-minute break, we go into an executive session.
Second.
You need 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Takes that long.
I'm not
In
going to
10
take
minutes,
longer
we
than
could
10
be out of
minutes.
here.
2 minutes, right?
All right. We have first and second. Who was second?
I second it.
Okay, roll call.
Edwards?
Aye.
Baker?
Aye.
Martinez?
Aye.
Filigrana?
Aye.
Pilkington?
Aye.
Henninger? Aye. Mayor Orr?
Aye.
7.
Okay.
Now, you know there was a demonstration there.